Hello and welcome to Arnie's Short Stories. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. Phantom Prisoners of Newport Jail. Holly Arnold had always been drawn to the haunted corners of the Isle of Wight, but Newport Jail was different. It wasn't just a place of whispers and fleeting shadows, it reeked of injustice, its very walls stained with suffering. The moment she crossed its rusted iron gates, the air thickened, the past bleeding into the present like ink spilled on parchment. She shuddered, gripping her coat tighter around her. Something about this place felt wrong more than just the usual ghost stories. The jail had long been abandoned, its cells empty, save for the restless spirits trapped within. Holly had been invited by a local historian, Mr. Lucas Greaves, who claimed to have heard desperate voices pleading in the night. "If they want justice," he had said. Well, Holly listened. The first night, she set up her equipment, a simple audio recorder, a camera, and a notebook. As the clock crept past midnight, the temperature plummeted. The air pressed against her, heavy and unrelenting. Then came the whispers. Not one, but many. Fractured voices speaking over one another, frantic, pleading. They wronged but punished for nothing, they buried the truth. A gust of icy wind rushed through the corridor. Holly flinched but held her ground. "I'm listening," she whispered, and for a moment the voices ceased. Then a name surfaced from the cacophony. Elias Morley. She spent the next day combing through archives, piecing together the story of a man who had died in his cell over a century ago. Accused of a murder he did not commit, hanged before evidence could clear his name. His was not the only case. Newport Jail had been a place of unchecked cruelty, where the innocent had been swallowed whole by corruption. That night the spirits became bolder. Shapes flickered at the edges of her vision. The cell doors rattled. A shadow loomed at the end of the corridor, tall, skeletal, its face obscured. Holly felt an unbearable weight in her chest, a sorrow so profound it was suffocating. Then a sharp, unearthly wail erupted from one of the cells, making her blood run cold. She turned sharply, her breath hitching as she saw movement behind the iron bars. A figure, gaunt and disheveled, pressed against the cell door, its eyes hollow but filled with pain. "Will you want justice?" she said. The answer came not in words, but in visions. She saw Elias Morley's final moments, the noose tightening, his desperate eyes searching the crowd for mercy that never came. She saw the jailer sneering, pockets heavy with bribes. And she saw something else, a key, hidden beneath the floorboards of the warden's office, a piece of evidence that could have set Elias free. The warden had buried it, along with the truth. The moment Holly returned to the warden's office, the atmosphere shifted. The walls groaned, the very foundation seeming to tremble beneath her feet. Her flashlight flickered. In the silence she could hear breathing ragged, slow, just behind her. Heart pounding, she refused to turn around. She dropped to her knees, tearing at the rotted wood with her hands. Splinters bit into her skin, but she didn't stop. Then cold metal. A rusted key, untouched for over a century. The moment she pulled it free, the air exploded with anguished cries. The spirits surged forward, their translucent hands reaching, clawing. Holly recoiled, pressing against the damp wall as the ghosts wailed and shrieked. Then, through the cacophony, one voice rose above the rest. Elias. He stood before her, now no longer a shadow, but a man. His eyes, once filled with agony, now softened. He nodded. One by one, other spirits emerged, their forms flickering like candlelight. They had been heard. They had been seen. And now they were free. As the first rays of morning kissed the jail's crumbling facade, Holly stepped outside. The air was lighter, the weight of history no longer pressing against her shoulders. The voices were gone, but the echoes of their gratitude lingered, a whisper carried on the wind. Justice, though long delayed, had finally come. But as Holly turned back one last time, something caught her eye, a lone shadow standing just beyond the bars of an empty cell. Watching. Waiting. The jail was no longer filled with spirits seeking justice. But something else remained. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like, and even better, like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I hope you have had or have a great day.